There's something no one ever tells you about growing older. It's not the aching knees or the slowing steps that sting the most. It's the moment you pause mid-sentence, searching for a word that simply won't come. It's the awkward smile you give when someone waves and you can't remember their name. Only that you should. At first, you shrug it off. Maybe I didn't sleep well. Later you say, well, I'm getting older. It's normal to forget little things. But then one day, you find your keys in the refrigerator, or you stand in the bathroom, staring at the sink, wondering, why did I come in here? That's when the fear creeps in. Not the fear of death, but the fear of slowly disappearing from your own mind. The fear of your memories slipping through your fingers, of forgetting the names of your grandchildren, of becoming a stranger in your own story. And what hurts most is how quietly it happens. You don't talk about it. No one sees the moment you go blank. No one hears the silent sigh you let out when you realize you forgot again. But here's something just as true. Memory doesn't vanish overnight. It fades gently, step by step, and sometimes, just sometimes, you can coax it back. This video is not about pills or medical breakthroughs. It's not about anything complicated. It's about 5 small things, gentle, human, and deeply powerful. Things you can do on your own. Things that may seem simple, but if done consistently, can reshape how your memory works in just a few weeks. So if you've ever felt the ache of forgetting, if you've ever wanted to hold on a little longer to the moments that matter, I invite you to stay with me. Because this journey is not just about memory. It's about reclaiming the parts of you that deserve to be remembered. Every morning, before the day gets busy, I sit quietly for just a few minutes. And I do something that might seem strange to others. I speak names aloud. Not passwords, not appointments, but names. The names of people I once loved, once knew, or still think about. My brother who passed away a decade ago. My childhood friend who moved to another country. A teacher who once believed in me. A neighbor who brought soup when my mother was ill. Even names I haven't spoken in years. Why do I do this? Because memory doesn't live in logic. It lives in feeling. And every name carries a story, a face, a moment. When I say these names, I don't just remember the person. I remember the scent of summer air that day, the sound of their laughter, the way I felt when they smiled at me. This habit, this tiny ritual of calling out names, gently awakens the emotional part of memory. The part often untouched by calendars or brain exercises. Science tells us that emotional memory is one of the last to fade, even in cognitive decline. By rekindling it, you breathe life back into neural pathways you thought were lost. And no, you don't have to say them all at once. 3 names a day. 5, maybe. You can whisper them while brushing your hair, boiling water, or folding clothes. The place doesn't matter. The emotion does. And here's the magic. After just a week or 2, you'll notice something. When you see a face you once struggled to place, it comes back more easily. When someone mentions a place from your past, the memories start to bloom again. Because the mind doesn't just need stimulation, it needs connection. Calling out names is not just remembering, it's honoring, it's loving, it's saying, I still carry you, you're still part of me. So tomorrow morning, before you reach for your phone or the remote, try this one thing. Say a name. Just one. Let it sit on your tongue, and let memory find its way back home. Some people think keeping a journal means pages of thoughts, feelings, and reflections. But when your memory begins to fade, even starting a single sentence can feel overwhelming. That's why this habit is so simple, yet so powerful. Just write 1 line a day. That's it. Not a whole paragraph, not a long story, just a single thing you remember from your life. It could be the smell of fresh bread in my grandmother's kitchen, or the way the sun looked on my wedding day, or even the music they played at my high school graduation. It doesn't have to be poetic or perfect. What matters is that it's yours. Because writing a memory helps the brain in 2 profound ways. First, it gives it a place to land. When thoughts swirl around in your head, they often disappear. But when you put them on paper, you give them a home, something your brain can return to. Second, writing something by hand activates a different part of your brain than speaking or thinking. Studies show that this simple motion, pen to paper, strengthens connections in the hippocampus, the part of your brain most responsible for memory. And for older adults, that's a part of the brain that deserves extra care. Some people keep a special notebook by their bed. Others use a calendar, jotting a memory in each date box. Some even write on scraps of paper they keep in a jar. However you choose to do it, the result is the same. You're keeping your memory alive, not in big grand gestures, but in tiny, faithful steps. And over time, something beautiful begins to happen. You flip through your notebook and rediscover moments you forgot you remembered. You smile at your own handwriting. You feel grounded in your story again. Because you are not just someone aging, you are someone who lived. Someone who laughed, cried, risked, failed, loved. And every single line you write whispers back, you're still here, and you still matter. So tonight, before you turn off the light, write one line. Let it be messy, let it be honest, let it be a piece of your memory reaching out to be remembered. There's a walk I take every afternoon. It's not long, just 12 minutes. No phone in my hand, no music in my ears, just me, my steps, and the world around me. At first glance, it doesn't look like much. I'm not breaking a sweat or walking fast. I'm simply noticing the way the leaves move in the wind, the warmth of the sun on my back, the soft crunch of gravel beneath my shoes, the sound of a bird I don't recognize but smile at anyway. This habit, this short, intentional walk, is more than exercise. It's a reset. A moment when the mind and body fall into rhythm. Why does this matter for memory? Because your brain doesn't operate in isolation. It listens to your breath, it watches your pace, it responds to movement like a flower opening to sunlight. Scientific studies confirm it. Gentle aerobic activity increases blood flow to the brain, especially the hippocampus, which is vital for forming new memories. But there's more to it than just biology. A mindful walk clears the clutter. It gives the brain a break from constant input, and in return, it offers clarity. Have you ever noticed how some of your best ideas come when you're not trying to remember anything at all? They come when you're walking, breathing, living. For older adults, this habit isn't just healthy, it's healing. You don't have to climb hills or track your steps, you just have to be there, fully. Let your feet carry you gently. Let your thoughts wander gently. And something beautiful happens when you make this part of your day. Your memory doesn't just come back sharper, it comes back kinder. You start to remember how the world feels, not just how it looks. You remember you're still part of it. So if today feels foggy, try this. Step outside, leave the distractions behind, and let your body lead your mind back home. Every night, just before I close my eyes, I do one small thing. I ask myself, what do I remember about today? Not in a forced or pressured way, just a gentle pause. I might recall the laugh I shared with the neighbor, the taste of warm soup at lunch, the headline I read in the morning paper, or the look on my grandchild's face during our video call. Some nights, I remember many things. Other nights, only one. But here's what's remarkable. This small act of recalling right before sleep actually strengthens memory, because the moments you revisit just before sleep get processed differently in your brain. Your mind does its deepest sorting and filing when you rest. It decides what to keep and what to forget. So when you gently bring one or two memories forward at bedtime, you're quietly telling your brain, this matters. Hold on to it. It's like placing a note in a bottle and sending it out onto the calm waters of sleep. By morning, it has found its place in your memory. Scientists call this process memory consolidation. But for me, it just feels like honoring the day I lived. It reminds me that no matter how ordinary the day seemed, there was beauty in it. Something happened that was worth remembering. This habit takes less than 2 minutes, but over time it does something profound. It strengthens your memory muscle, especially the ability to retain short-term events. Something that often fades first as we age, and it brings unexpected gifts, peace, gratitude, a sense of still belonging to the rhythm of the world. So tonight, as you pull the blanket up and rest your head, don't scroll through your phone, don't replay the worries, just gently ask, what do I remember about today? And let that memory tuck you in. There's a quiet frustration that comes with forgetting someone's name. You see a familiar face, the smile is there, but the name, it dances just out of reach. It's not because you don't care. It's not because you're getting old. It's because memory, especially name recall, is like a pathway. If you don't walk it often, the grass grows over. That's why this final habit is so simple and so powerful. Each morning, after your coffee or tea, try this. Recall the full names of 5 people from your life. They can be family, friends, or even childhood classmates. Say their names out loud. Picture their face. If a name doesn't come right away, don't panic. Just breathe and let your mind wander until it arrives. This tiny ritual, less than 5 minutes a day, has an outsized effect. Because names are some of the trickiest things for aging minds. They're stored in parts of the brain vulnerable to age-related changes. But just like muscles, they respond to exercise. And even more beautifully, when you remember a name, you often remember a feeling, a moment, a warmth that rises from a shared past. Some mornings I remember my teacher from the 2nd grade. Some days it's a neighbor who used to wave as he watered his garden. And sometimes it's someone I've lost. But the act of remembering brings them gently back into the room for a second. This habit isn't about proving anything. It's about reconnecting with memory, with yourself, with the people who shaped you. And it does something else too. It restores confidence. When you start remembering names more easily, you begin to trust your memory again. And that trust? That's the real victory. So if you felt frustrated lately by forgetfulness, start here. Name by name, step by step, you're rebuilding the trail, and before long you'll notice it's not so overgrown anymore. You might be wondering, can 5 little habits really make a difference? And in just 3 weeks? It's a fair question. Because when memory starts to slip, when names vanish, keys go missing, or a story you told yesterday fades before you finish it, it feels like something bigger is unraveling. And most of us have been told, quietly or bluntly, that this is just part of getting old, as if decline is the only direction. But let me tell you what science and life suggests. Even after 65, even after 75, even after 85, your brain is still listening, still learning, still adapting. Neuroscientists call it neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to form new connections even in old age. It doesn't take miracles, it takes signals, small, consistent signals that tell the brain, this is important, pay attention. That's what these 5 habits are, not grand gestures, not impossible routines, just quiet signals to the mind. We are still growing. We are still here. And 3 weeks? That's not an arbitrary number. Studies show that 21 days of repeated behavior is often enough to start rewiring a mental pattern. It's the time it takes for your brain to notice a rhythm and start reinforcing it. Kind of like planting a seed, then watering it every morning, even before the sprout appears. So here's what might happen if you commit to these habits, gently, without pressure, for 21 days. You may find yourself remembering more details from conversations. You may suddenly recall someone's name just in time, instead of a few hours too late. You may feel sharper, more present, more at peace. And maybe, most surprisingly, you may start to forgive yourself, because much of what we call memory loss isn't failure. It's overload. It's distraction. It's years of not being given the space to reflect, to breathe, to remember softly. But now, you have that space. So give it time. Give it 3 weeks, and give yourself a little grace. Because even at 70, 80, or beyond, your memory is not a lost cause. It is a garden. And with just a little daily care, you might be astonished at what begins to bloom. If you've made it here, let me say something not many people hear after 65. You are not fading. You are not slipping away. You are not losing your mind. In truth, you're rediscovering it. Not in the way it once was, perhaps more agile, more quick to recall a detail or a date, but in a deeper, richer way. One where memory is not just about information, but about meaning. Because behind every name you remember, there's a story. Behind every morning walk or whispered word puzzle, there's a quiet act of healing. And behind every forgotten thing, there's still a person who is trying. Still loving, still deeply alive. So if your memory has felt fragile lately, I invite you to look at it differently. It's not breaking, it's asking for kindness, it's asking for rhythm, and it's asking very gently to be included in your care. These 5 small habits are not cures, they're invitations. To slow down, to reconnect, to remember who you are. Not just what you did in 1974, but who you are now. The strength in your eyes, the warmth in your hands, the fact that you still care enough to keep showing up, even on hard days. That alone is proof that your mind is still vibrant. So as you step into the next 3 weeks, don't track results like test scores. Notice feelings instead. Do you feel more grounded, more awake to the day, more forgiving of the occasional blank space? That's what matters, because memory isn't just stored in the brain. It lives in the body, in the rituals we repeat, in the words we say, in the hope we choose. And right now, you're choosing beautifully. If this video touched something in you, leave a comment below. Share a memory that's dear to your heart, or tell us which of these 5 habits you're going to try first. Let this space become a place of encouragement. And if you'd like more gentle guidance like this, for your mind, your body, and your soul after 65, make sure you subscribe to Golden Pathways. Because your journey isn't slowing down, it's just beginning a deeper chapter. And we'll be here with you, every mindful step of the way.